Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. Today it is November 7th. It is Friday. And we are doing this live to explain what is happening and what is going on in our country of Mexico in this past week. As you guys know, and as everybody knows, it is really difficult to talk about these topics and to basically open up and say, you have to say the correct things. If not, we will be in complete, vulnerability to retract ourselves from what we're saying. There has been massive activity due to cartel activity this week. In less than a week, the country has shown a complete disaster. This administration of Claudia Sheinbaum has shown to the Mexican people that they are completely irresponsible. They do not care about the citizens of Mexico. They only care about their agenda. And just wait so you can listen to the conspiracies that they're making up, so you can understand the level of stupidity of these progressive mercenary liberals. On the past Saturday, a great mayor by the name of Carlos Manzo, he was a guy that basically, a people guy. He ran as an independent to be a mayor because he was part of Morena and he got out of the leftist political party. Possibly he didn't agree with the things, how corruptibly they were managing, and they were not letting him be. What he wanted to be is to protect his city of Uruapan. That is a municipal city, close to 500,000 citizens in that municipal city in the state of Michoacan. And he became a mayor. And he won the elections against Morena, that it was the favorite. After he became the mayor, he became extremely famous on social media, on television, worldwide. Why he became so famous? The reason why is his statements. The way that he was managing the government. The way that he was executing every single mission. The way that in particular he was speaking to the criminals, and specifically the way that he was combating and fighting the organized crime by himself. He cleaned the municipal police in Uruapan. He fought the corruption. He started making public statements to say, we're coming after you, and we are going to clean our city of Uruapan. We are going to come after every narco terrorist in our city. He started making statements to say that Donald Trump was right about categorizing that Mexico has a lot of corruption with their politicians. He became famous with that line. And after that, the threats started coming to him. Every day they were threatening that they were going to kill him. The organized crime had bigger artillery, large weapons, massive artillery in comparison to the municipal police of Uruapan that did not have the same artillery and same capacity that the cartel has. So what happened? He started doing videos on social media, pleading for help for the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, asking her, please help us. We need your help. We need more artillery. We need reinforcements. I cannot fight these people alone. I'm trying to do the best that I can, but I cannot. They have bigger artillery. They have military artillery. I don't know where they got it, but they have large guns. They have high caliber weapons, explosives, grenades, drones. I cannot fight that. I don't have that technology. And he started putting video after video asking the president for help. Did the president listen to him? That's the question. Did the president put attention to his claims? That is the question. Since Clara Sheinbaum started campaigning until she became president, around 36 infraction political candidates and politicians and activists, leaders of activism, of searchers for mass graves and missing loved ones, were assassinated. And today, on this fraction of less than a week, what we're watching as Mexicans, it is the total collapse of a government that we know now more than ever who controls our country and who runs the decisions of our country. On the day of the death, the celebrations are big. They're beautiful. The part of Oaxaca, they're gorgeous. Is one of the most important places to go and celebrate the day of the death. Yucatan, also another one. Chiapas and San Cristobal de las Casas, Michoacan is another one. And he was there. Carlos Manzo was celebrating with his own people in Uruapan. There's an image of him carrying his child, looking at the sky, just moments before he was assassinated. He asked for protection, but it looks like the protection was strategically not protecting him. There were 12 National Guard soldiers protecting Carlos Manzo. All of them, they were far away from him. All of a sudden, they went away and disappeared. And one individual approached him. After he released his son in the hands of his family members, they shot him till he fell. There's a really famous image of him with his hand like this on the floor. And it tells you that he was trying to get up. Even dying, the man was trying to get up. He was such a great man, a Mexican hero. He was accusing the governor of Michoacan of being in cahoots with the organized crime and the cartel. He made several videos accusing him that he was involved with the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación and Michoacan Mafia. Consistently, he was making videos and saying to him, "You are corrupt. Come and face me and tell me to my face that I'm not right and you are wrong." He was going to become the new governor of Michoacan. And ultimately, he was a candidate to run for president in the near future. He had the 100,000 potential to do that. And he got assassinated. On the moment that he got assassinated, the country of Mexico, there was a candle that did not have a fire. And that it was there, just standing, a candle without a fire. The candle was sometimes lighting up, sometimes it was vanishing away. And it was looking like the candle was exhausted of lighting and then disappearing. After this murder on Saturday, that candle became fire. And all the Mexican people are completely upset. They demanded the government of Mexico to respond. They started lifting their hands in Uruapan, where the murder happened. People started making videos accusing the president directly of being an assassin. because she was not listening to the claims of protection and also listening to Carlos Manso to come and fight the cartel and fight the bad guys, because you're supposed to be the good guys. But never listened to him. Never listened to his claims. Never put attention to him. And he died on the floor, shot, trying to get up. People started rioting in Uruapan. On the next day, it was a massive rally to the governmental plaza of Michoacan, where Governor Bedoya was located. And the governor of Michoacan, the corrupt governor that Carlos Manso was signalizing every day of being corruptibly involved with the cartel, he had the audacity to go to the funeral services. And guess what happened? The people were awaiting for him outside. And they wanted to mop the floor with him. He had to be rushed out, protected by his security, because the people, they want him out. So now what happens? The people of Michoacan went to the governmental plaza and they entered the governmental plaza. They pushed the doors down and they completely destroyed the whole entrance and ultimately offices inside of the governmental plaza where the governor Bedoya was located. It reminded me of the times of the revolution with Emiliano Zapata. The people were exhausted. The people are tired. They're sick and tired. The funeral services happened. This happened on Saturday. We were waiting for the morning conference on Monday of the president. I never watched them because it affects my health to watch the president talk. It affects my life and completely makes me sick every time that I listen to all that stupidity on every morning conference, with all the journalists that they're being paid off by her. Social media was burning. Every journalist in Mexico was talking about this. And they were burning the government up like you have never seen before. They are giving them hell. Do your job, they're saying. Grow a pair of balls and go and defend the people. Grow a pair and go and defend the Mexican people and the innocent people. Fight the cartel. Go to war with them. The people are telling her. On the morning of Monday, President Sheinbaum comes out and says, we condemn this murder of Carlos Manso, the mayor. But also we want to say that violence with violence, it is never the answer. And we are not going to militarize Michoacan. When we heard that, every Mexican knew that that was going to happen. But we thought, I don't think that they are going to be this obvious to show to the world that they are protecting the cartel like this. I don't think that they're going to do it. And they did it. They did it publicly. And they said, we are not going to war with the cartel. As a matter of fact, the president of Mexico said, if we go to war with the cartel, that will be illegal. Look what happened with Calderón, still thinking of the past governments. My God, these people are so obsessed. They're trying to protect so much their incompetence to govern and to give protection to the citizens that they blame the past government and the past government. Guess what? The past government was Andrés Manuel López Obrador, your teacher. And he had more than 217,000 murders in 6 years due to cartel activity and homicides. But you didn't say anything about it. And she said, we're not going to go to war with the cartels. As a matter of fact, that is completely wrong. What are we doing? As Mexicans, we said, this is enough. I think we draw the line right here. This can't be happening. So the one that is governing us, it is basically the organized crime. She's saying that it's illegal to go against a war to the cartels, but it is not illegal for them to decapitate, to dismember, to extortion, to kidnap, to traffic, to leave bodies wrapped up in sheets on the side of the road, to rape women, kidnap women, extract organs, traffic drugs all over the country. For them, it's not illegal. That for you to go against them and to protect the citizens, you're telling me that it's illegal? These people are destroying your country. These people are killing the good ones. And the bad ones, they're staying in power. How can this be possible? So what happened was the whole press in Mexico immediately started going on fire. Immediately. And they started going at her like, how dare you protect these criminals instead of our people? How dare you? What audacity. What kind of shameless leader you are. You need to grow a pair of balls and go to war with these people. I don't care if Calderon had a failed strategy. You won the elections. The people trust you. You're supposed to have the capacity more than Calderon, and you should have that example of how to not mess it up again. But you justify yourself that the homicide rate is going to grow, that the violence that is going to increase more than it already is in Mexico. And you're not going against the cartels in a war. So after these statements, you have to understand, people. We ask ourselves this question. Who governs the freaking country? Who is the leader of the Mexican people? Who is it? Murdering a mayor in broad daylight. It is not enough for you to say, send all the military and get them. And I want every single imbecile of those cartel members on their knees begging for forgiveness in front of the Mexican people, every single one. But instead, you say it is illegal to go against the war with the cartel. So what happened after this? You guys are going to laugh. You guys are going to have a ball with this that I'm about to say to you guys. On Monday, here comes the good stuff. The paid influencers, the bloggers, the creators of content that they are in TikTok and Instagram. These people, they have hundreds of thousands of followers, like Carlos Eduardo Espina and all these people. They started informing and saying several influencers in Mexico that they were paid off by Morena. This is a strategy by Trump and the Republicans with the conservative parties of Mexico, PRI and PAN, and they are the ones who killed Carlos Manzo. So they will have a justification to come and invade Mexico. And when we heard that, we were like, How disgusting and incompetent imbeciles are you? It is unbelievable that you are thinking that this situation that just happened was not the organized crime in the cartel who assassinated Carlos Manso. And you're actually making a conspiracy to make everybody think that this is the Republicans who are trying to enter our country, assassinating a mayor in cahoots with PRI and PAN to have a justification to invade Mexico. Hold on a minute. Are we seriously? When I heard this, I was like, oh my God. These people are like worse than the Democrats. They don't care about the flag of our countries. They don't care about the Mexican flag. They're fanatics. They care about the flag of their political party. They don't care about the country. They care about the policies, the progressive liberal policies. They don't care about the life of the citizens. And they're willing to lie to an extent that they're willing to make this conspiracy to make everybody think that this is the Republicans with the conservatives in Mexico who are making this up so the administration of Trump can have a justification to come with this military and invade. Holy crap. My God, you guys are incompetent imbeciles. I cannot say bad words on this live stream, but I wish that I could. You are los vendepatrias. You are los vendepatrias. You are the enemy vendepatrias. You are the sellouts. You're selling out to the organized crime. You're selling out to the cartel. To every single one of them. And you're willing to lie to this extent to protect them and to protect the integrity of that president that is a narco president with the whole political party and La Barredora that is another cartel. Just wait, it gets better. This is in less than a week. There was a brutal attack in Puebla of this cartel that is called La Barredora. Apparently, the leader of the cartel, they have been signalizing one of the senators, that is Adán Augusto, from the political party of Morena, being the leader of this cartel. And it is unbelievable that in less than a week, the mayor Carlos Manso got assassinated. 3 police officers were assassinated in the part of Puebla by the cartel. Another police officer was assassinated in Jalisco. An activist defending property in Jalisco. And another police officer in Tijuana yesterday. 6 figures. 5 police officers, 1 activist, and add Carlos Manso, the mayor, in less than a week. Jesus, Lord. Where's the authority? Where are your statements to say, we need to go full on? We need to protect the citizens. But guess what? It gets worse. Yesterday, at around 6 o'clock in the evening, around that time, Central Time, Guadalupe Urban, she's a councilwoman, and she was arriving to her home. She got her car in. As she was leaving her home, in her car, she was intercepted by armed men, the organized crime. She was abducted and they took her car. And later on, this councilwoman was assassinated. And her body was left on the side of the road. It is in less than a week. In less than a week, this is what is happening. 5 police officers, 1 activist, 1 councilwoman, and 1 mayor. In less than a week. Talking about how many thousands they're dying every month. Abducted, kidnapped, the missing people. They're qualifying the homicides into involuntary manslaughter. You know what I mean? Let me tell you what they're doing. If that man was killed by the organized crime and the cartel and it was a homicide, when the authorities arrive, they say, this man had an accident. He fell from the 3rd floor. That is why the tendency of homicides in several states that they are governed by them, it is slowing down. But they cannot handle that because the criminal rate is going up. The levels of extortion in our country are like never been seen in history. What they're doing is they're going to local businesses, example, a barber shop, and telling the barber, you know what, this is the amount that you got to pay every month. I cannot pay that amount. Well, I'm going to give you 3 months, and if you cannot pay it, I need all your business. And that is how they take over the business. They extortion into, they suck every single penny out of you, and then they take over the business. And that is how they own businesses around cities and how they money laundry through their businesses. The violence that is continuing. But what has this done on a positive note? On the 15th of November, before the assassination of Carlos Manzo, there was a post that is making the president go crazy. She cannot handle this. She's talking about this every freaking day because she cannot believe it. What happened? There was a post on social media, and it was a group chat, and then it became a page, and it is a Gen Z protest. Immediately it started growing. Gen Z, you have to be kidding me. The Generation Z, it is actually uncomfortable with this. You have to be kidding me. Immediately, the president the next day started speaking about it, trying to denigrate, trying to water it down, trying to say that these are only commentators, that that is a made-up page, that this is not real, that those are fake bots in the chats, that those are fake profiles, that that protest is not going to exist, because she cannot believe that the youth in Mexico, it is finally awakened. And they cannot stand that as a socialist. What you want is all the youth to be idiotically hipnotizado, just hypnotized. That's what you want. They cannot believe it. So every day, the Mexican president, she's annoyed. She's mad and she's upset that this protest, it is growing, it is growing, it is growing, it is growing. More people are sharing the posts on social media. They're crazy. They're eating her up. On the 15th of November, there's going to be a nationwide protest against the government of Morena, this narco-political party that it looks like, feels like, smells like it is in cahoots and it is hand by hand with the organized crime. As the protests was growing, the assassination of Carlos Manzo happened. Then the assassination of the councilwoman happened. Then the continuous assassinations of the police officers happened. And it started growing more. She cannot handle this. I'm going to tell you something. She's mad. She's mad that finally the youth, it is tired of it. I'm going to tell you something. As a Mexican, I have made my mistakes in the past. Everybody knows that. But everybody makes mistakes. Let me tell you how our lives are since we have conscience of where we live. Since we are kids, we saw so much injustice, so much corruption, so much of a bad government, that we grow up hating the government and thinking that everything is corrupted. And we grow up always thinking on the negativity side. It looks like a strategy to be programmed like that, to think that we only have a capacity of growth. And to always think, I cannot cross that line because it is corruption, it is politicians, it is the cartel, it is the organized crime. It is a strategy to keep the people encapsulated in one particular social class and one level. You need it. You need the violence. You need the insecurity. So you grow up hating the government to a point that you're grown, you're 40 plus years old, and you're like, cannot believe that I'm this old and I haven't seen a good government, a good president. That is what we are trying to do now. We are trying to eliminate that cancer for the future generations and our children, so they can grow up and love the country. They can grow up and think, I love Mexico. I love my country because it's prosperous. I love my country because it's secure. I love my country because it's the best country in the world. That's what we are trying to do now. And they're trying to shut us up because they want their system to be implemented still in this country. They want people to be brainwashed to understand that we're doing good when we're doing horrible. And the kids are growing up seeing decapitated people, dismembered bodies, cartel banners, cartel fights, kids asking why they murdered that good guy, that mayor. He was doing good stuff. Why they took him away, Dad? We shouldn't be having these conversations with our children. We shouldn't be having a conversation taking your child to school about decapitated people, dismembered people, kidnapped children, extracted children, abuse of women, bodies being left on the floor, cars being burned, sirens going off, helicopter on the top. Why are we living like this? Why? We deserve better. We need to cut that cancer so these children, they can have a future and they can grow up loving their country, thinking that their country is the greatest country in the world. Why am I migrating? Hell no, I'm staying in my country. I have the opportunity of a lifetime over here. I can grow and be a great entrepreneur, businessman, architect, a farmer, whatever, a teacher. I'm not leaving my country. I'm staying here. But now we're seeing why people get out of our country and they're being pushed out. It is these organized crime groups that they're pushing all the good people out with their kidnapping, with their wars, with their violence. Carlos Manso was assassinated and left 2 kids, babies. His wife, widow. And you can imagine that the wife, knowing the violence and knowing that they are coming after her, she was going to ask for asylum of the United States, or she was going to ask for help to move somewhere else. As a woman, the first thing that you're looking is to be protected after they assassinated your husband. Am I right or am I wrong? But what she did, the wife of Carlos Manso said, I am not leaving my city. As a matter of fact, I demand that I become the new mayor of this city and that I take over the city. I'm going to continue with the movement of my husband and protect the citizens and fight the citizens. Guess what? She's now the mayor of Uruapan and continuing the fight of what her husband died for. They're killing the good ones. They're killing the good ones. It is obvious that we need help. It is obvious that we need clarity, we need purity. It is obvious that we need to incarcerate every single dirty politician. It is obvious that if the government of Mexico, it is exposing the realities of what we're living in the government of the United States, it is actually with the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Treasury They're exposing dirty politicians in Mexico. Why in Mexico they're not being arrested? Why they're not being investigated? If they already been signalized to be in cahoots with the cartel, why in every morning conference the president is saying, well, we are waiting for the evidence? What more evidence do you want? They are being accused and investigated. Shouldn't you be investigating also? If a foreign government it is doing your job, my God, you look bad on the eyes of the world, people. At this particular moment and juncture, everybody in the world that has common sense, that has a clear conscience, that has a clear view, that has a brain, knows that our government has failed to protect the citizens because they have been executing a mission of protecting the cartel. Only if you are a progressive, mercenary, leftist fanatic of this political party, you will think the opposite. We are tired and exhausted. Mexico is number 3 in the world for assassinations towards journalists. People that speak up the way that I'm speaking right now. There's not a place right now for talking against the government. It is really difficult. They're watching every single account that is doing this kind of situation, talking bad about the government. They're doing exactly what they did in Venezuela and exactly what Maduro is doing in Venezuela. Controlling the social media, controlling the phones, controlling the applications, controlling the language on the social medias. We are on the same pathway. Oh, guess what? There's another conspiracy. They're saying that Eduardo Verástegui, Lili Telles, and Salinas Pliego, they went to the United States and the White House and with some people to meet up and create a regime change so the United States can come and invade Mexico. They don't even know what to say anymore. They're so stupid. You cannot have a debate with these people. They're going to say, oh, look at the stats. Look at the numbers. Since when you started getting interested on the numbers and stats? Since you became a Morena. But when you were PRI and PAN, those stats, they never match. Remember? I remember when El PAN, the conservative party that failed us to be governed the country of Mexico. I remember when El PRI governed the government of Mexico. And we never trusted their stats because we knew that they were corrupt. But now, all of a sudden, Morena is the ruler of the stats. And those stats are correct. And you know what? These people on the left in our country, they're celebrating what Claudia Sheinbaum it is doing right now as decreasing 50% of the arrival of fentanyl into the north borders that connect to the United States of America. They're saying, look, we are fighting the cartel. What are you talking about? You should be ashamed if you're celebrating that. Les debería dar vergüenza. You're only doing it because of the threat of a tariff and the pressure of the Trump administration. One, because two, if Kamala Harris would have been in government, this would be a complete disaster. And not only that, you're telling me that you're celebrating that you have decreased 50% of fentanyl arrival to the north borders? That means that 50% was existing on the past administration, that was your teacher, Andres Manuel, and you're celebrating it? This should be shameful to you. You celebrate that you dismantled more than 1,200 laboratories. That means that those 1,200 laboratories were operating under Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, the past president. You're celebrating that you have arrested more than 20 agitators of violence and generators of violence. That means that those 20 plus thousand were free on the past administration, and you only arrested them because of Donald Trump. You did not arrest them because of you wanted to protect the Mexican citizens. Look what they're doing now. You're saying that you're not going to war with the cartel because it is illegal. Do you remember the ideology of all hugs, no bullets? You're celebrating that you just delivered more than 50 plus narco leaders into the U.S. government. Some of them were incarcerated. Some of them were free. And you're celebrating it. That means that on the past 6 years of AMLO, when there were 217,000 murders on his 6 years, these people were free. Why are you celebrating? What the hell is wrong with you? This should be shameful, embarrassing, because those kind of activities mean that they were generating violence for almost more than a decade. And you were letting it pass. And if it wasn't for los gringos, the Trump administration, you will not be doing anything. You will be sitting down right now. If Kamala Harris would have been the president right now of the United States of America, you will not be going after anybody. Imagine if you right now are saying going against the war with the cartels, it is illegal. I cannot even imagine what would you said if Kamala Harris would have been president. What would you have said? That the cartel members have human rights? That they also have human rights? That's what you're saying? But you're celebrating these accomplishments. And now you have one mayor was assassinated, and it hasn't been not even a week since his assassination. 5 police officers. That means that you got 6 right there. 5 Mexican police officers in the whole country, 1 mayor, and 1 councilwoman yesterday outside of her house, abducted, kidnapped by the cartel, and then killed, gunshot, dropped the body on the floor on the side of the road. And you got a president that is saying, we're standing for women, because during the week she was walking through the public and somebody grabbed her in an abusive way, a male. Isn't this unbelievable? How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. 50 minutes on this broadcast. going in. Buy me a coffee is right there, pinned in the chat for people who want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. We're going to be traveling soon, so somebody just became a supporter. I want to say thank you. And this message is God bless you, Oscar, and your family, Oscar. Thank you for the truth and facts. God bless you also. You know, as a Mexican living over here, going against these liberals and these progressive mercenary leftists, that they only have their categorization of their language. That's the only thing that they have as a defense mechanism. You're a vendepatrias, you're a white supremacist, you're a bootlicker of the white man, eres un vendido, no te quieren, nunca te van a querer because you're trying to be white. You're xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronounphobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, Zionist. All of this stupidity language. That's what they use to defense mechanism, right? Because when they cannot handle the actual reality that is right now showing to the whole country, they start saying, oh, eres un vendepatrias. You're a sellout of your country because you're selling out to the MAGAs, to the Trumpers. How am I selling out to the Trumpers? I'm just saying what is happening in Mexico. No, that's not true. Here are the facts. And they're trying to invade Mexico and they're trying to take over Mexico. It is the Republicans with the conservative parties of the Mexico. Those are the ones that they're trying to take over. Open your mind. They're trying to invade us. Es un golpeteo de la derecha. They don't even know what to do. Let's see what happens during the week. I got 8 minutes on this broadcast before it closes to an hour. If somebody wants to comment or a question, there's the chat. We are live in YouTube. We are live in X. And we are live on Facebook. Next, we are going to be live at Twitch. And also, we are going to be live at Rumble. For people to just want to continue watching us, those are going to be the platforms that we are going to be on. So if somebody wants to ask a question, go ahead. We have 8 minutes still remaining. And we will be happy to answer those questions to you guys. A lot of people have seen me a little emotional these days doing my hits and my broadcast. And I have to be honest, I was with Eric Bolin in our network. You know, and at one moment he was playing a recording of Carlos Manso, and from seeing it, I started crying. But behind the scenes, and I had to clean my face because I cannot, you know, I don't have the possibilities to say, you know, nothing is wrong over here. I cannot hold it. Today I was with Grant Stinchfield, and almost again, my voice started trembling because it's a matter of desperation. What are your predictions? And X Eduardo is saying for 2026 in narco war. You know, hopefully our government will grow a pair of balls and they will protect the citizens, which I don't think that is going to happen, only if some other foreign government pressures with specifically the tariffs or something else, economically hitting them in the pockets. And they need to crank it up a notch, the Trump administration, to expose the dirty politicians in Mexico. That way, these people are going to start to pressure, and they don't have an open door to run. Marisol Sánchez, buenas noches, Oscar. Gracias por ser una voz por todos los mexicanos. Que Dios te bendiga siempre. Muchísimas gracias, Marisol. Te agradezco todo. Dios te bendiga a ti también. Aquí andamos echándole ganas. No nos queda de otra con este desastre que tiene el país ahorita esta mujer. Breaking news says you're a good human. Never apologize for that, Oscar. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for that. Just Trust says you're a blessing. Stay safe, brother, and keep spreading and speaking the truth. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You have communists pushing from the South. I don't understand what you mean with that, but Will Ashley says, if you were white, they will have another set of words to use. All the same war. We're one. God bless you. God bless us. Stay safe. All no fear. I don't see color. I don't see color. I have best friends that they're from Mexico. One of my best friends is in Panama, Matthew Tomlin. He's white. My mentor, Chuck Holton, a former Ranger of the United States of America. He's white. My brother that I have always gone to all these places with him, Ben Berquam, he's white. I don't care about color. I know that's your point, but I'm just relating to your point. I'm acknowledging your point. And I don't care about that. God never seen color. Vicky Salazar, Oscar, I love how intense you speak the truth. How's your life ever been in danger about how you speak? Yes. Yes, it has. Somebody else wants a question? Before we go, we got 3 minutes. Do you think the corruption in Mexico will ever go away? A teacher of mine in college, and also another teacher in junior high school told me this. It is exactly the same. He said this to me, and I will ask this question to my audience. Who do you think it is the fault? Is it the corruption or the corrupt? Who do you think it is the number one fault? It is the corruption or the one that is corrupt? Is it the one that is corrupting or the one that is corrupt? Who do you think that is the number one that is at fault? He asked me this question because several of us, we were complaining of the undesirable lives that we were living in terms to insecurity in our country. And a lot of people in the audience are saying the corruption. I got corrupt. I got the one that is saying corrupt. And I will tell you what is the answer. The answer, he told me, is none of the two. The answer, it is that you're using the word corruption. It shouldn't be existing. We have accustomed ourselves so much that we are now making a difference between who is the one that is right, the corrupt or the corrupted. The word shouldn't be existing. So we need to eliminate the problem and the snake in the head of the snake. So that word will never be in an office and discussed in a classroom or in a coffee table. The word shouldn't be existing. God bless you, people. Thank you so much. Somebody's asking, how come it's only showed only 44 viewers the whole time I've been watching? No more, no less. I don't use Facebook anymore. Facebook, it's just a censored platform. I use it just because I have an audience over there. And it's where I started, so I have the respect for the audience. Over here is showing 1,500 people that are there watching. Majority are coming in from X, and they're coming in from YouTube. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for your support. We will be traveling soon, so your support is undeniably always needed. So thank you, and thank you. We will be seeing each other soon. Stay safe, and like we always see, people, God's plan, it is our mission.